Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a good one. A budget book haul, as the title suggests. I got 9 books to talk about today that I had just picked up just this week, actually. I picked up 7 of them today, not an hour ago. So yeah, super excited to get into it. But before we do, disregard my little mark here and here. I was just on a walk, and so this is like my sunglasses and for my hat. It's very, very hot out, about 95 degrees outside Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? So I know we got a lot of EU folks, or I guess just any other part of the world. So let's see, what is 95 degrees in Celsius is 35 degrees. So there you go. It's about 35 or 95 degrees out, depending on where you're from. So yeah, I was wearing a hat, some sunglasses. Obviously I got a haircut as well. I did not take over Sam's channel and lock him up in the closet. This is still me. Great clips, never steered me wrong. But yeah, enough yapping. We got 9 books to talk about, and I love to talk about books. So grab some popcorn, maybe a favorite beverage or two, and we'll get right into it. I'll tell you where I got them. Ooh, grand total for this entire book haul. Like I said, 9 books. I got them from 3 different places. Grand total came to less than $32. It was like $31 and some change, which I think is not too shabby. I hardly ever buy a book new these days, and I hardly ever buy books that are more than $6 or $7 a piece when I buy them used. And so here we go. Like I said, 3 different vendors today. We'll start off with the first one. I got this one from Goodwill, my only book I got from Goodwill. Goodwill is great, especially the one near me. It has its own dedicated book section, although it was lacking this time around for whatever reason. But yeah, their prices are very straightforward. Paperback, $1, hardback, $2, doesn't matter what the book is. So I picked up this copy of American Sniper by, I think it's written by Chris Kyle with Jim DeFelice and Scott McEwen. It's an autobiography. Oh yeah, it says the autobiography of the most lethal sniper in U.S. history. So there you go. Chris Kyle wrote the book. But yeah, that is, I think, a pretty good pick. This is like your typical Goodwill book. It's this big mass market paperback, like hardly read at all. It has pictures in the middle that I looked at in the store. And yeah, I've seen the movie a while ago, and this book just needed to come home with me. Let's just read the back. I'll read the back of each one of these because that's how they interested me. But yeah, now a major motion picture. From 1999 to 2009, U.S. Navy SEAL Chris Kyle recorded the most career sniper kills in the United States military history. His fellow American warriors, whom he protected with deadly accuracy from rooftops and stealth positions during the Iraqi War, called him the legend. Meanwhile, the enemy feared him so much they placed a bounty on his head. Gripping and unforgettable, Kyle's masterful account of his extraordinary battlefield experiences ranks as one of the great war memoirs of all time. So yeah, like I said, they made a pretty epic movie about, over this book and featuring Chris in it at the end, an old interview of his. Sadly, I think he passed away at a shooting range incident. I don't know the details of it, but I think someone like fatally shot him at a shooting range, which is unfortunate to say the least. But very excited to get into this book. This is the one and only book from Goodwill, $1. Next on the list, this is from the second vendor. This is from Thrift Books. I was just scrolling there, as I normally do, and I need to seek help for doing so. Scrolling on Thrift Books, and I noticed I had a free book reward, and I was like, well, sign me up. All I had to do was pay shipping and tax, which came down to like $1.13. So basically free, $1 book. This is The Plague by Albert Camus. I've never seen this cover of it. It's pretty grotesque, so maybe I won't show that anymore. But let's read the back. It says, a gripping tale of unrelieved horror, of survival and resilience, and of the ways in which humankind confronts death. The Plague is at once a masterfully crafted novel, eloquently understated, an epic in scope, and a parable of ageless moral resonance, profoundly relevant in our times. In Oran, a coastal town in North Africa, the plague begins as a series of portents. Unheeded by the people, it gradually becomes an omnipresent reality, obliterating all traces of the past and driving its victims to almost unearthly extremes of suffering, madness, and compassion. Definitely interesting. I have a couple of the works of Camus. I have, what do I have? The Stranger, which I need to read. I was looking for The Myth of Sisyphus. Obviously I have The Plague now. There's a couple others I was looking for, and I was actually looking for them at Half Price Books, which perfect segue into my next stack of 7 books. I just got, today's Saturday for me, so I just went out and bought some books because yeah, that's what you do on a Saturday. And I was looking for other works by Camus. So I was in the C section, and let's see. Yeah, we'll start with this one. So this is the first book I picked up. Obviously I was looking for Camus books, and I stumbled across this. This is Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote, obviously in the C section, and it's this beautiful Penguin Modern Classics edition, hardly read as well, and I think it's a collection of short stories, and this one just sounded fascinating to me. It says, it's New York in the 1940s, where the martinis flow from cocktail hour till breakfast at Tiffany's, and nice girls don't. Except, of course, Holly Golightly. Holly Golightly, well, that's a good name. Pursued by mafia gangsters and playboy millionaires, Holly's a fragile eye full of tawny hair and turned up nose, a heartbreaker, perplexer, a traveler, a tease. She was irrepressibly top banana in the shock department and one of the shining flowers of American fiction. So this, it's a short book. That sort of sounded Gatsby-esque to me, and yeah, it's a collection of shorts, not a collection of short stories. Breakfast at Tiffany's is a short story, and then it has 3 other short works there. House of Flowers, A Diamond Guitar, and A Christmas Memory. And it's in this beautiful edition. And I don't know if this was like a typo on Half Price Books part, but it was sitting on the shelf for 56 cents. And it rung up as 56 cents, and I was like, dude, what is this? And I had a 10% off coupon, so it was 50 cents. Yeah, not too shabby, because I've never even seen this book, so excited to read this eventually. Let's see, next on the list here, let's just go with a classic. Well, I guess a more modern classic. I saw this book, and I don't see it much at Half Price Books, and it's in such good condition that I had to pick it up. It's literally everywhere, and I'm surprised I don't have a copy of it yet. That is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Like I said, I don't have a copy of this book. I've never really seen it around in Half Price Books, and I know it gets so much praise for being such a great book. I have never read it. I didn't really even have an interest in reading it until I saw it. Sort of dark academia. Maybe I could be in my dark academia era now, but yeah, this book is also deceptively long. It just looks like a normal book, but the pages are tiny. The pages are thin. It's almost 600 pages long, which sort of caught me off guard. But yeah, this one, let me just read the back like I'm doing with every book. It says, under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life, a world away from their banal contemporaries, but their search for transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs or morality. It seems very highbrow, very wee whatever, but excited to have this on my shelf. And like I said, it was at Half Price Books, and it's in it's like basically brand new, so I just had to get it. Let's see. Next on my list, oh, this was a good one that I found. This is the Barnes & Noble Classics edition of the Jungle Books. I didn't know there was 2 Jungle Books, but this has both of them. It's like the Jungle Book and the new Jungle Book are both in this copy, and so that is pretty awesome. I have obviously seen the movies, the Disney movies. I guess it is just the OG, the animated one, many times, and excited to finally read the book, because for some reason I never thought to read the book about a movie called The Jungle Book. I just thought it was just like, I was a kid, so I didn't really know. Obviously I have known it has been a book for a while now, but haven't really seen a copy that sparked my interest until this one. I like the artwork on the outside of it. I tend to, I don't love the Barnes & Noble Classics editions, but this one looked pretty snazzy. And yeah, it has, yeah, the first Jungle Book and the second one. Well, I think it's like the new Jungle Book or something. But the back reads, action, adventure, and excitement spill from the pages of Rudyard Kipling's best-loved collections of stories, the Jungle Books. Set in a magical, mysterious India, these tales of people and animals living together, though not always harmoniously in a world of nature, have appealed equally to children and adults since their first appearance more than a century ago. Most focused on Mowgli, a boy raised by wolves, as Baloo the sleepy brown bear, Bagheera the cunning black panther, Kaa the python, and Mowgli's other animal friends teach their beloved man cub the ways of the jungle. Mowgli gains the strength and wisdom he needs in his frightful fight with Shere Khan, the tiger who robbed him of his human family. But there are also tales of Rikiki Tiki Tavi, the mongoose, and his great war against the vicious cobras Nag and Nagania. Of Tumai, who watches the elephants dance, and of Kotick the white seal who swims in the Bering Sea. Sorry, I got tripped up there, but I promise I can read. But yeah, this edition includes both the Jungle Book and the second Jungle Book, published in 1894 and 1895 respectively. So yeah, this will be one for the collection for sure. We'll just go down the line here in the stack. Next one I have here, I guess similar, also set in India, which is pretty cool. This is called A Fine Balance. You can see there, by Rohinton Mistry. This is a hardback. This was new. I usually don't buy hardbacks, but they had a hardback and a paperback, and this one was $3 cheaper, and it looks pretty snazzy. So what is this one about? The time is 1973. The place is an unnamed Indian city by the sea. The government has just declared a state of emergency. The days that follow bring new forms of degradation and misery to vie with resilience and stubborn hope in the daily lives of people, 4 of whom are compelled by a housing shortage to share one cramped apartment. They are an unlikely quartet. Dina Dalla, a seamstress in her early 40s and a widow for almost 20 years who determined not to remarry or rely on her brother's grudging charity, has forged a fragile independence for herself. Manek Kola, a student from a hill station near the Himalayas, sadly uprooted from his beloved home by his parents' well-intentioned desire that he attend college in the city. Ishvar Darji, an impossible optimist, and his recalcitrant. What? I need to Google that one. And his recalcitrant teenage nephew, Omprakash, tailors who have fled a legacy of unfathomably brutal caste systems within their small inland village. With no common background and one of the most impersonal threads of common need, these 4 find their lives becoming unexpectedly but inextricably entwined, their growing trust, humor, and affectionate interdependence establishing a bulwark against the hardships and torturous machinations of daily life under the emergency, holding them together finally for both better or for worse. Oh shoot, I just bent the cover. Oh well. But yeah, that sounded interesting. It's a bit of a long one, an epic tale, so to speak, and it's like a mini hardback. Yeah, this one like sang to me. All these books, I just sort of like picked them up for one reason or another and read them and read the little blurb on the back and was like, dang, that's coming home with me. Same story for this next one. We got three left here. This is Office Girls by Joe Mano. And let's just say about this book. No one in it dies. No one talks about the international political situation. There is no mention of any economic collapse. Nothing takes place during a world war. Instead, this novel is about young people doing interesting things in the final moments of the last century. Adil is a lovely 23-year-old art school dropout, a minor vandal, and a hopeless dreamer. Jack is a 25-year-old shirker who's most happy to use his out-of-date tape recorder to capture the endless noises of the city. Together they decide to start their own art movement in defiance of contemporary culture made dull by both the tedious and the obvious. Set in February 1999, Office Girl is a story of two people caught between the uncertainty of their futures and the all-too-brief moments of modern life. So yeah, this one just seems sort of like a very chill book. This reminds me a lot of Happy Hour by Marlo Granados. I read that on the channel about 1.5 years ago. That was also pretty good. And yeah, you can see most of these books are pretty heavy. So I think I needed something like this within the haul to, yeah, sort of, I don't know, switch things up a bit. Pages are pretty small, word spacing's on your side. Yeah, this one will definitely be interesting. I've never seen this book out anywhere, so excited. I obviously grabbed by the pink cover just sitting on the shelf. I was like, oh, what's that about? And now it's at my house. So, moving on. Oh, I forgot I even got this book. I didn't forget, but okay, we'll save that one for last. The next one here is The Last 4 Days of Paddy Buckley. Let's hear what it's about. One night, when Paddy Buckley is driving home from his job at Gallagher's Funeral Directors in Dublin, he hits a pedestrian crossing the street. Paddy pulls over, gets out of his car, intending to do the right thing. As he bends over to help the man, he recognizes it's Donald Cullen, brother of the most notorious mobster in Dublin, and he's dead. Shocked and scared, Paddy jumps back in his car and drives away before anyone notices what's happened. The next morning, the Cullen family calls Gallagher's to oversee Donald's funeral arrangements. Paddy, to his dismay, is given the task of meeting with the grieving Vincent Cullen, Dublin's crime boss, and his entourage. Inevitably, funeral plans run awry and events spiral beyond Paddy's control. By turns a black comedy, a love story, and a thriller, The Last 4 Days of Paddy Buckley is a surprising, compulsively readable novel. It seems very much like that dry English humor that I like so much in books, things like Us by David Nichols, or $3, I forget who that's by. But yeah, this one just seemed a little bit light again, and something that, I don't know, I like a funny book, and this seemed to sort of right up there. And yeah, excited to have this in my collection. And last but not least, if you've made it this far, I appreciate it. We've been like yapping for 19 minutes now, so let's wrap it up. This is A Separate Peace by John Knowles. They had a whole lot of these, only this edition. No, they had a whole lot of these in other editions, but this is the only one of this edition that I got, and I liked it the best. So let's hear what it's about. Set at a boys' boarding school in New England during the early years of World War II, A Separate Peace is a harrowing and luminous parable of the dark side of adolescence. Jean is a lonely, introverted intellectual. Phineas is a handsome, taunting, daredevil athlete. What happens between the two friends one summer, like the war itself, banishes the innocence of these boys and their world. A bestseller for more than 60 years, A Separate Peace is John Knowles' crowning achievement and an undisputed American classic. Dang, this was the second book I picked up at the store, and I mean, just from that alone, I knew it had to come with me. I knew it. So, we will wrap things up there. Appreciate you watching up until this point. If you have, this has been a bit rambly. Obviously, we got a lot of good books to talk about. Let me know if you have read any of these books or if you've picked them up or otherwise. What have you thought of them? We'll go through them again. We got American Sniper, The Plague, Breakfast at Tiffany's, The Secret History, The Jungle Books. We got, hold on, there they go. A Fine Balance, Office Girls, The Last 4 Days of Patty Buckley, and A Separate Peace. So that'll do it. This may be my longest video to date on this channel, but give it a like if you liked it. If you're up and staying around up until this point, I greatly appreciate it. Consider subscribing if you're new. I hope you have a great rest of your day full of good books, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out, guys.